I'm not sure how often they do it. I've just seen a few clips where the Bears line up with their two outside linebackers on the same side. Do they do that frequently? How does that challenge you guys?
It kind of primarily shows up on passing situations when they want to get a real good rush and they want to do some twists and stunts and things like that. It definitely, I mean, let's face it, this is probably one of the best defenses, in the NFL, if not the best. I mean, with their talent. So when you take two guys like Quinn and Khalil and you put them right next to each other, I mean, it's could be devastating. So you have to be sure you know where those guys are at all time because they're special players.
What do you think A.J. Dillon catching passes could do in terms of opening up the offense?
It's huge. I think, we talked a little bit about it last week, just kind of what he's done for just this whole offense. I mean, you've got Aaron who's kind of does everything. He's that slashing back. Then you've got that pounding downhill guy in A.J. But the great thing about A.J. is he can catch out of the backfield too. I mean, the touchdown that he scored, I mean, just the athleticism to be able to catch that ball and then be able to stay in bounds and still run strong and be able to take a hit and get in the end zone was awesome. So it's not like you're just putting him in to run. So I think that's just huge for him to just continually develop in his pass route tree and all the things that we can do from just a simple check down. I think he caught a check down for an explosive play, which is always great. If they're taking away all those wide receivers down the field and Aaron can just dink it right down to him and you're getting 10 plus yards. I mean, that's awesome for us.
Is Hicks still the same player that he was 3-4 years ago, and he's piling up a bunch of sacks and TFLs every year?
Yeah, I mean he's awesome. I mean, really that whole front. I mean, from you've got Goldman, he's rolling again. You've got Belial. I think you got Quinn, you got, Khalil. I mean, they're really good. And then what it does is it allows him to get some one-on-ones when they put all five of those guys up there. And Hicks has just continually been a force in this league. I mean, his ability, he's so big, but he's got great quicks. So he has the ability to do quick moves, bull rush, everything. So he's very, very disturbing inside there. So it's going to be a huge challenge for our offensive line to really go to that whole front seven. I mean, you look at the linebackers and Ogletree and Roquan. I mean, they're good. they're very good. It's going to be a great challenge.
Nathaniel, we know how much you love Marcedes, and
I do.
I can listen to him talk forever, but he was
I
talking.
can too. I actually try to get him to talk to me a whole bunch.
He was talking today about the catch he had in Cincinnati, obviously, and he said that he knew when they kind of broke the huddle based on the look that there was going to be an opportunity for a special play. Given how rarely he gets those opportunities, A, is that hard even for a veteran like him when you don't get the ball a ton? And B, just what does he mean when he is able to contribute in the passing game, because we all know how much his blocking needs to.
Yeah, I mean, Sadie's is a special breed. I mean, he's the a true pro. Like, and everybody always says that, but I mean, I think he takes it to maybe even another level on just his play, because I mean, he knows his role. He knows his role from the standpoint as he's a blocker, and that's what he's going to do. But you can't sleep on him. And I think that's the thing that we, as an offense, we always have to do. We don't want him just to go in there and, it's an extra tackle. We always want there to be a threat for everybody to get the ball. So I think from his mindset, how he is, he knows what he's got to get done in the blocking world, in the pass protection, the run. And he's just going to let that whole thing come to him. And he knew that was going to get dialed up at some point. And I think the next level is how the team looks at him, because they know that's the man he is and how he plays. And when he gets that opportunity, and then when he makes somebody miss, runs somebody over, I mean, I was going crazy in the box. I mean, you watch the sideline and it erupted. It's just unbelievable. So I think, that's a guy, because of who he is, because of how much we respect him, because he doesn't say anything, he doesn't get upset if he doesn't get the ball. But when he does get the ball, he makes the best of it. And I think that's just, it's just so great for the whole team to see that, and it's so great to see them get fired up. I mean, heck, we got to get him the ball more too.
Nathaniel, what are the main characteristics of like this Fangio defense that I think they're still based on, right? You'd say their foundation is still through there.
Yeah.
What is the foundation of that? What do they do? Really?
Kind of the starting point for that is the front. You know, how they play with the 5 down bigs as we talk about it. So they have, you know, all 5 bigs. So you're presented with a challenge on how you're going to block all those guys. You know, whether it be the linemen, which if there's 5 down, you got 5 linemen, that's 5 one-on-ones. That's kind of the starting point. And then the way they play their coverages in the back end, and they still have the ability to drop one of those bigs. So you might think that you're doing a 5-0, you get one-on-ones, but they drop, you know, one guy, and you still have the one-on-ones on the right side or the left, depending on where they drop. So it allows them to get more one-on-one matchups, allows them to play coverages a little bit different. They can insert safeties inside, outside. They can play from a soft shell. So the disguising is really impressive in this system. It allows it to, is it going to be an open coverage and you want to attack that way, and then they'll drop down and they could be playing a closed coverage quickly. And the match principles down the field, zones turn into man. So there's so many different intricacies about it, and they don't have to pressure much because they can get those one-on-one matchups. So, and they can still cover all those zones. So it's a good system. I mean, it's been going around forever, and some of the best defenses in the league are that system right now.
Anything else, guys?
Nathaniel, obviously we all enjoyed the gold zone last year. You guys set a really, really high bar. 55% is not the same as 80%. How do you kind of feel about where you're at? Matt said there's no reason to panic, but I'm sure you'd like to be better.
Without a doubt. I mean, we did set the standard. It was a very high standard last year, and it's not even close to where we want to be or where we know we can be in that region. If anybody can get a hold of Mike Myers, would really love anybody's help. We might need him to come in and help us out. Yeah, I think it's one of, you know, you go back and coaches were our biggest critic, I think, right out the gate. The players are also that way too. So, you know, we look at everything from, you know, doing more creative things to being more aggressive to who's out there, when they're out there. So I think there's so many things that go into it, and we just got to continue to grind, continue to adapt and find new ways, because we know that we set the standard last year and a lot of people looked at us. A lot of people looked at the things that we did, and we have to find even more counters and more fun things to do to be able to go get that gold.
You're still referring to it as the gold zone?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, it's definitely the gold zone. I don't even know what the red zone is anymore. It's the gold. That's how you score touchdowns and you get the gold. Everybody loves gold.